You know what? Fuck this pistol. I want to get rid of this baton already. Oh, this is actually a good part to try out your vibration settings. If you feel massive vibrational forces coming from your controller, it means everything's working fine, because it's supposed to be so outrageously vibrating here for no good reason. Oh yeah, advanced control step. If you want to quickly turn around, hit backwards twice. You'll do a 180. But the no-scoping kill is not guaranteed. You'll have to practice with that one. Oh, look at that. An interactive loading screen. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's loading a new area. But yeah, that's about it for controls, and that's about it for everything else. And to recap, if you missed that for some reason, we're not doing Fighting Force 1 because it sucks. It's really boring and I don't like it. If you like it, well, okay, fine, but I'm not gonna play it. You should play it. And if you're gonna do that, well, link me to your playthrough, I guess, as long as it has commentary. I want to see what you got to say about the game. As you can see, the Uzi is not as powerful as a pistol, but it is a pretty nice weapon to use because it's naturally a fully automatic light weapon, light arms weapon. And here comes the grenades. Now, like I said, you can only carry 8 grenades in total, but that is 8 grenades in your pockets. The 9th grenade will always be automatically equipped to your hand, and you have to get rid of it, cause you just can't carry it. Like, you can't put it in your pocket. It just doesn't work like that, which is a bit annoying. I wish you could carry all 9, but oh well, what can you do? Oh, and I still have a fucking pistol and baton. Well, I don't want that. I must get rid of this baton. Come here. I want to give you a smack. I have no good jokes. The only reason you want to smash anything in this game is for that high score, which is indicated by that $sign. Oh, what happens if you smash the exploding barrel? Well, it naturally explodes, but for some reason Hawk Manson is such a powerhouse, he can survive explosions from point-blank range. Fighting Force, now with 100% more bullshit. Available now at Toys R Us. There are ways to get rid of weapons, but it doesn't look like I can do that. Okay, you cannot drop a weapon if you don't have a substitute. Here's the thing, you can actually drop certain weapons, but you have to have a substitute weapon. Like, I want to drop this sledgehammer right now, right? I would need something in the same category of weapons, like the same ones that are mounted on the back, if I want to throw it away and put it on my back. It's a bit of an odd system, but I suppose it kind of works? I don't know. I prefer not getting sledgehammers because, like you've guessed it already, they're really not that interesting to look at. In fact, the best thing you can do with shitty weapons that you don't want but cannot throw away is to just smash random objects until they break. Ah, when climbing ladders you might want to be careful how you approach them, because I believe you can climb them from any side. Okay, now, I remember there was a game that lets you climb ladders from any side, which would really fuck you over if you were on the wrong side of the ladder. I can't remember any. I do know that one of the Splinter Cell games allows you to do that, but it can also let you just... Was it... No, I think it was I think it was either a Splinter Cell game or an Assassin's Creed game, where you could climb a ladder from either side, but you could switch sides while on the ladder. I'm pretty sure it was an Assassin's Creed game now that I think about it. Because it does kind of make sense, I suppose. Or it kind of makes sense for the for Splinter Cell to have that as well. Oh yeah, the other reason that you might want to consider blowing up objects for is that they sometimes drop health. That's about it. Here's another interesting tidbit to know. When you're attacking enemies with melee, you start building up this little meter. It is known as your rage meter, but I like to consider it more like adrenaline or something of the sort. It just seems more reasonable to call it that way anyway. And it basically just improves your damage output. Oh no, I don't want that. Don't touch it. That is evil. Seriously, the axe sucks. Look at that. 2 kicks in the face. And he's out. And these guys died from 1 jump kick! You wanna tell me that kick is bad? Try it. Say it to my face and not on the internet. And see what happens. I can assure you, nothing good will come out of it. But yeah, as you can see, kick is a very amazing tool. Explosions do look pretty nice, so I'll give points to that. Any time of the day. Oh, and if you're wondering what's up with the music in this game, I'll tell you. There is no music in this game. At least not in the parts like this. Like, there are some musical tidbits here and there, but for the most part the game is very quiet. And I don't know why. Now where the fuck did I get this sledgehammer from? God damn it. I hate when I get random sledgehammers on my back. That's another sledgehammer. I used to think those were pretty good, but the only good thing about them is that they are good for destroying objects. That's about it. As expected from a sledgehammer, really. Son of a bitch, you wanna beat me up while I'm defenseless? No. Okay, this part can throw off some new players pretty nicely. But do not be fooled by this levels, this areas in particular evil trickeries. It's very easy. And there you go. Just walk past it, then it's not zapping. You know, as a kid I used to think that you just have to get around it, because I thought that was showing me that if I try to walk through there, it's gonna zap me. Like, it's actually gonna hit me if I try to walk through, because it's, you know, something that they would set up to actually zap you. Like a trap or something, and you should either try to walk around it or blow it up. But no, you just walk around, you just walk through it. No effort required, minimal user input needed. That's about it. Oh yeah, you're probably wondering what the fuck is beeping there. What is that? Cut that shit out. It's basically just a message from HQ. Analysis of bearing steel complex shows that the blast furnace is not operating at the required temperature to destroy the tungsten CX metal. Making you wonder, why can't we just find a different blast furnace? Warning! Mission profile has changed. Primary target has become the generator, regulating the power to the blast furnace. Locate the control room and set controls to overload. Eliminate all resistance as usual. Okay. So basically the objective has slightly changed, but that's okay because it always happens. This game is about as linear as a line can be. I mean, seriously, The progression here is as straight as a 100% heterosexual person can be. You cannot go anywhere else. No side quests, no side activities, none of that horse shit. Maybe it's for the best, considering that this game can clock in easily about 7 or 6 hours all by itself. And by the end of the game, or even by the half point of the game, you'll be asking yourself, how much longer is this fucking thing gonna go? Because like I said, this isn't that much better than compared to Fighting Force 1. It's just slightly better. My first complaint is that of all the things that they could have done that are reminiscent to Fighting Force 1, like of all the things that they could have taken from Fighting Force 1, why did they take the wimpiest of the characters that you could choose? Because Fighting Force 1 has 4 characters to choose from. 2 females and 2 males. You know, for equality and all that. Very progressive of us core designers. Yeah, the devs are the same as for the first game. Core design. I don't recall them making a lot of games. I think these are the only 2 games that they made. This and Fighting Force 1. Shoot that guy, by the way. He likes to throw grenades. And he deserves all the worst to him. But yeah. 4 characters, and only the wimpiest of the male characters was taken as the lead for this game. I don't really see the point. They could have taken all 4 of the characters, or at the very least made use of the other 3 characters, because they're obviously a part of this fighting force. Where the hell did they go? What happened to Smasher? Who, by the way, in the Russian versions was always called Kulak or something like that, which was very funny to listen to every fucking time I heard it. What happened to Mace, and whatever the other girl's name was again? Forget. Something starts with an A, I believe. The names are not particularly memorable. I mean, the 3 characters around here, Mace, Smasher, and Hawk, the one that you're playing with, very easy to remember because, well, they're easy names, very generic ones too. So there's no real way you're gonna forget that. But that other girl, she has a more normal name, that's the problem. Her name is actually the most normal out of the 4 characters, and she's also not available for some reason, which is really odd. All 4 characters have different movesets and slightly different attributes. Like, I think the females were always the faster ones, but they were a little weaker. Smasher was the slowest son of a bitch, and it really felt like it when I was playtesting it the other day. But he has that muscle, homeboy. He has that strength. He levels strength all day and tells Dex fags to go fuck themselves. He knows what's up. Meanwhile, Hawk is the Dex fag in question, so that kinda is bad. I guess. I don't know. I feel they could have introduced the other characters from the Fighting Force series, and it would have been pretty nice. I have no idea why they didn't do that. But it's one of the minor complaints, really, because even if they're not there, meh, that's fine, I suppose. I mean, they're not really losing much of anything because they're not here. The game is playable just fine without them. It's just, it would have been nice to see them come in too. They are a part of the Fighting Force after all. Ouch! Watch out! Fire in the hole! For some reason, these enemies are really bad at just attacking you. They like to attack one by one. Who the fuck does that when they're dealing with an intruder? Just come at me. What are you, afraid of a little Hawk Manson? Oh yeah, this is an interesting bit. Let me sidetrack for a moment. You can either climb by using this ladder fashioned into monkey bars, or you can jump the gap. I'd suggest using the ladder monkey bar technique because it's safer. But even though you actually do get hit by this guy with a big old hook. Because if you try to jump a gap, most of the time you're gonna land in the water. And for some reason that water is very finicky with how it wants to kill you. Sometimes you'll just dip in it, start losing health fairly rapidly, but you can survive. And without too many losses if you just know what you're doing. Not much of a problem then. And sometimes, or in my case, almost all of the time, it just insta-kills you on the surface of the water. It just acts like you crashed right into a bottomless pit for some reason. Which is really odd. No foreseeable fix or workaround for this. Not that you'd really want any, now that I think about it. It really doesn't fucking matter. It's really odd that you can't pick up that extra ammo for your second Uzi when you already are above 99 ammo limit. Must be another one of those weird game limitations. But yeah, I do suggest going the monkey bars route because it's just safer. And if you do fall into the water and get insta-killed, guess what? You lose a continue. You don't have lives, you have continues. And you only start with 3 on normal mode and probably with just 1 on hard mode. Yeah, there is hard mode too, cause why the fuck not? This is a PlayStation 1 game after all. And once you hit that continue, the last place you saved at will be that place that you return to. Sounds fun? No, of course not. It sounds like fucking horseshit. So, don't die. That would be a good idea. Highly recommended. You could say it's actually a pro tip. But yeah, back to the complaints. My second and a bit more important complaint, I would say, is that this game is just not that interesting. Like, you walk through from level to level, you beat up bad guys, do an objective that you kinda have to do anyway, so it might as well not be an objective. It's just like, go to this place and beat up the boss guy and do the thingamajigger that you're supposed to do. And it still says that oh, the blast furnace is reaching critical state. Who the fuck cares? You still have to get to that generator because the blast furnace is still not gonna be hot enough for you. But yeah, basically you should just go to the end of the boss, like to the end of the level, fight the boss, do the thingamajigger, and that's it. Call it a day. Instead, we have to do these pseudo objectives as if it's some sort of a Splinter Cell game. Which, by the way, the objectives don't really matter because you end up doing them whether you want to or not. It's like, it doesn't matter if you have an objective or not, you still end up doing it. It's kind of the goal of the game. You have to do the objective because you just can't progress. Then again, saying that is pretty much the same as saying you have to walk through the exit to exit out of the level. In this game's case, it fits the bill perfectly. And because of that, I feel like the game is missing out on a lot of opportunities to be a lot more interesting, because right now, well, I'm just going to go to the end of the level, gonna beat up a boss, and do a thing, which mostly is going to involve cutscenes. That's it. Multiply that by about 13 more levels. I believe that's how many we got in total. And there you go, Fighting Force 2. Sounds interesting? Not quite. In fact, it sounds not interesting at fucking all. In fact, it sounds almost like the exact same thing that we had in Fighting Force 1, except just a tiny bit more fleshed out. I don't know. When you start to analyze the problems of this game, you start to realize why exactly Core Design went out of business after just a second game in the series. Not to be mean to the guys who worked behind this, because overall the game isn't all that bad. It's playable, just not really that enjoyable, that's about it. But they really squandered a good opportunity to make a fairly decent action series. Like, they could have gotten their own piece of 3D beat 'em up action scene. They could have been the next 3D Streets of Rage that, much to nobody's real surprise, has never happened because Sega really sucks at doing things. Hence why they stopped making games on their own for the most part.